Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Man, I hate to sound like a tired old man, but I'm a tired old man. I had to. I'm happy to be doing stuff. Oh wait, hold on. Let me stop right there. Forgot. I'll get some people in here saying I didn't come here for all this. I'll save it till after the news. Okay, so I did a video about an hour or so ago about the Cowboys, just saying the Cowboys released Rashad Robinson, who played in 5 games for us last year. I think he had 13 tackles, 20 combined. So, he had 7 assists. He's been a journeyman cornerback, and, was a guy we plugged in. This off season, he ended up getting a 2-game suspension. So the first 2 games of the season, he was going to be suspended for PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. Um, I'm not going to be, well, hold on. Let me make sure I put this the right way. Football is one hell of a sport. I understand pain and agony because tearing my ACL in high school and trying to hurry up and get back. And that wasn't because it was my job and my career. It was because of the love of football. You don't have but so much time and opportunities in the NFL. And some guys will look at it and say, I need an edge. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. The reality is, sometimes you do need an edge. And of course, there's the list of all kinds of things that are considered performance enhancing things. Now, it needs to be an even field because if you're a guy that's doing things right and somebody isn't, well, then they're getting unfair advantage. But in some cases, if you're a guy that's had injuries or you're not quite big enough, the idea of maybe I can take something that'll make me better and have a better chance of making it. If I don't take it, I may not have enough to make it. So the risk is worth the risk for it. For the Dallas Cowboys, I think the Cowboys have been, the Cowboys have dealt with quite a few people that have had performance enhancing problems. Marcus Lawrence, quite frankly, had performance enhancing problems and suspensions, as well as other guys. It's nothing new. Again, it's one of those things. I got to get it back on the field. This is my livelihood, and hopefully, I'll figure out a way that I don't get caught. But in some cases, they do. And again, like I said, I'm not trying to say that he's no, that he was right. No, I mean if it's banned, it's banned. But there's a lot of things that they have players take to be able to continue to play with pain. Teradol, it's a terrible drug. Players sometimes take that before games because of anticipation of pain that's going to come after. I know I had hydrocodone pills for my knee after surgery. I think I took 2 of them, and I didn't like the way they made me feel. I just didn't. But if you're in enough pain, you're going to take whatever you can and can get easily hooked on them. But there's a lot of things that they tell you to take that may not exactly be the best for your health. And let's be clear, it's not always about the health of the players as much as it is the health of the franchise. That the bottom line is we need you out there to perform by any means necessary. Now, for the Dallas Cowboys, I think what they're trying to do is send a message, and they don't want to deal with any drama. This is the no drama Dallas Cowboys. And this is kind of saying, you know what, if you're not going to be able to play the first 2 games, which means, you're not going to be able to do the work and stuff we need to, we don't want anybody here who's not going to be able to be here fully. And that's one of the reasons why, especially with, let's be clear, a lot of people will say, oh, well, he's a veteran and everything else. Well, they got a whole bunch of new expensive toys that they brought in. And they looked at that and said, well, it's better that we're focused again on these young guys that we know that we drafted and give them an opportunity. And they probably have looked at the roster and said, you know what, he could have been a camp casualty anyway, from the standpoint of not making the roster. The thing I actually feel good about, and here it is Saturday evening, I'm at my stepdaughter's house. Actually, my daughter's house. Let me stop saying stepdaughter. Done some repairs. Oh my God. I have another channel. Because some of the people complained, I thought this was a Dallas Cowboy channel. I didn't come here for this. That's why I'm talking about this stuff now. But she bought this house about 2 years ago. And, it was, it's a completely renovated house. And it's sad because what happens a lot of times is, when people watch those DIY channels and they see stuff like, oh, let's just put tile on top of tile. It'll look good. That's no problem. Yeah, it looks good while you're showing it for the first time. But it's not going to last. And so the shower in the guest room, they used it a few times and it started leaking the ceiling, so they just stopped using it. And they said, Dad, can you look at it? Because you can see it leaking around a recessed light. Unfortunately, it was one of the recessed lights that's like a little hockey puck, and you pull it out so you can see it, and right above it is the shower drain. And I'm looking at this thing and looking at how it's plumbed in there. And what they did wrong, okay, when you've got a plastic, fiberglass shower, you've got the plastic drain that goes in there. When you unscrew the thing, it has a paper washer and then it has a rubber washer. What they did was, when they put the drain in, they put the rubber washer on top, then they put it through the bottom of the hole, then they put the paper washer and they tightened it up. And some of you are probably like, okay. Anybody who's a plumber right now is like, that's just not going to work. Because the paper washer is made so that way the nut can keep turning and doesn't bite the ring on there. It's not meant to seal it. And so when they would take a shower, it wouldn't leak immediately because it would need to get the paper washer saturated, and it's like a sponge, and then it overflows. So I had to go through and cut the ceiling, which has these, it looks like paneling, but it's not. It's actually like ceiling tile material that they put up in there. Had to do kind of surgery to open it up so I could get in there and fix it, and I fixed it. Oh, and then the shower is like, we never get hot water in there because they put the hot and the cold water backwards on it. So the balancing valve just kind of goes out of whack. Looks good, looks pretty, but you got a leaky ceiling and a shower that doesn't give you hot water. So I took care of those. And that's the thing, like with the Cowboys. It's not always what you see on the surface. The stuff on the surface is pretty. It looks good. It's really what's underneath that makes it last and makes it work. It's not pretty, but if it's not right up underneath of it, it's not going to work. And this is where the offense and defensive line need to be stellar for the Dallas Cowboys this season. Look at that. I accidentally slipped with the knife, moving some potatoes, and that sucker cut the heck out of it. Whew. All right, y'all. I'm being bored to death because they're watching about DNA, brain cells, and living a long time. And there's my buddy Dave. Let me talk to Dave for a bit. Peace.